can we resolve the dilemma between governmental surveillance versus freedom of information?
Well, I'm a huge believer that each citizen, you ought to respect the privacy and the trust issue, and it starts with that. So like I said, I'm more of the European view, perhaps, than I am of some of my peers in America. Secondly, I've been very direct. I think governments have to have an agreement and rules of the road. And they've got to have an agreement between governments that are allies and between governments that are competitors. And we have done that traditionally in many areas, whether it's in what you do in terms of your seaboard, whether it's in terms of what you do in terms of mutual respect for each other's information. So I think the governments actually have to take the lead here on coming up with rules of the road in terms of how you interface between governments and what you ask your various companies and citizens to do within that.
Do you see in this problem conflict between social democracy and, liberalism?
Well, I think the neat thing about where this technology is going to change everybody's lives. It's going to change your healthcare, it's going to change your education, it's going to change your standard of living. It will generate a new generation of jobs. It will destroy some of the old jobs, just like when you went from horses to highways, but it will generate much more. And I think it will have so many very, very positive advantages. And then I think it's the natural thing, which I think all of our countries do well, is we'll kind of work through that to arrive at the right end result. And we'll hit some bumps along the way. But the thing that you want to take away is this inflection point's happened. 2 years ago, I had to buy people drinks and maybe a dinner to talk about the Internet of Everything. Mm-hmm. Today, we have board of directors coming by, country leaders asking to come and present to them or talk with their own boards, etc. So this inflection point is happening tremendously rapidly. Mistakes companies make. Number one is they don't go market transitions. Mm-hmm. So our market transitions, we did routing, and we're a router company, then we moved into switching. Then we moved into data infrastructure. Then as voice came onto the internet, we led in voice consolidation or convergence. Then when video did, we led in that. Then we did in the data center where you combine compute with the network, with storage, and we're now doing it with application-centric infrastructure, etc. So the one thing we do pretty well is we move into new markets. So you're seeing the majority of our investments in areas like cloud and software transitions. But as we do this, we also, as we go into market adjacencies, we bring those advantages back to our core products. So our core routing and switching products with both merchant and custom ASICs, suddenly can do security differently, collaboration differently than our peers. Suddenly you can dramatically cut the cost of the operational expense for your service provider partners in a way they can get their services out quicker with lower operating expense. So this is where we've changed versus our peers. We're going to play an architectural game, which is about outcomes, not boxes. It's about lower OpEx, not just CapEx. It's about how do you produce those results quicker than others. The network is at the center of every transition going on. Social, mobile, cloud, security, collaboration, big data, healthcare, Internet of Everything. So position, there's just no substitute for being very fortunate. This will be the digital era. Second, what you have to do is you have to get market transitions right. And if you don't, no matter how powerful you are, you get left behind, and it happens pretty quickly. We've been pretty good on market transitions. Even when we miss one, we go back and catch it up, i.e. SDN. We're now the leaders in SDN. Network function virtualization, we led from the very beginning. I mean, we're all by ourselves. 49, I'm about to rag on you now, 49 virtual functions already. Nobody has even 10, and we'll be at 90.
Right.
So leading very quickly there. The third thing you have to do is you have to have the courage to reinvent yourself. True of the CEO. If you watch my transition over 20 years, I used to say 5 to 7, now it's actually 3 years. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to have the courage to change your organization, which is not easy. I mean, think of the engineering, what Pankaj and Kelly did. They basically took 90 business units and completely broke it down, focused on outcomes. They basically measure people on outcomes as opposed to your profit and loss of your individual product. Then combine it with services to really bring it through. Sales did the same thing, organizing around service provider, not just geography. And so it's having the courage to make those transitions that you have to do. And the other element is don't stay doing the same thing too long by itself, not just routing and switching. but move into collaboration, security, data center, cloud, and they actually come back to the core. So what do we have to do? We have to do those well as well. Right now, if you watch, a lot of people were critical 3 years ago of saying, Cisco, you're going to get left behind, you're going to be one of those other companies. Watch where we are today. Probably more relevant, a factor of 3 or 4 fold than any other IT company in the industry. And that gives us a good shot to become the #1 IT company. And you talk to service providers with less than a handful out of the top 50 in the world, our relationship is dramatically better now than it was just 12 months ago. That required organization change. Even if at the top you believed in these market transitions, and even at the top, if Kelly, Pankaj, myself, Chuck Robbins, the heads up sales, believed in the change, if you didn't change your organization structure, you can't be agile.